So he's like always the name behind.
Oh, well, he's getting better with it now. Yeah, I gave him some hard times about it. He said he'd get mulligans. Gave him a mulligan. I had to write it up in our meeting room, right on the wall, just so he wouldn't forget.
So he didn't know your name for a while?
Oh, no, he did. It was just a joke.
Okay.
He kind of does that with all the DBs.
Okay.
Just easier way for him to remember, I guess.
Well, I had to refer with him
It was-
changing his last name from Cullen to
Well, there was also Michael Lowe, who was a safety for the Giants.
The linebacker, actually, yes. So it may have been that, and he's been in the league, so he knows a few people.
So we'll take questions and just make sure that's automatic if you could, so we can get this on YouTube and everywhere else we send it. You've, as a defense, struggled against some teams that have the spread or have quarterbacks that have the option, run option. Why do you think that is, and how does that bode for this week's game against UCLA, another spread team?
Well, we always go back to the drawing board, step in the film room, and see the things that we could have done better week in and week out. We played, like you said, a few teams with a similar offense, so we look back at those films and try to correct the mistakes that we made there so that this week we can come back out and play faster and not make those same mistakes again.
Michael, when you look at UCLA, are they very much the same as Arizona State? Are there some subtle differences, and how are they compared to, say, Nevada, who you played early in the year? And I guess they're not that much like Ohio State, but how do you compare them to what you've seen already?
They're pretty similar. Same style, fast pace. They like to get up on the ball and go fast. It's something that we prepare for. And we see it on film, obviously. We played against a few teams who've done this. We got a good game plan, so we're feeling confident, and we're going to try to contain the quarterback and things like that and work on the stuff we need to so that we can come out with the victory.
Their quarterback, Brett Hundley, specifically, how does he compare in terms of athleticism to Miller and Fajardo and Taylor Kelly, the other spread guys you've seen?
With the system that they have, it's good for the quarterbacks, that type of quarterback. He's pretty athletic. He has a good arm, so we're going to respect his speed as well and his athleticism when he gets out the pocket with that type of offense. They do a lot of zone reads with the quarterback, and he's able to sneak out. So, we got to respect his athleticism, and so he's a pretty good guy. He's a freshman, so we hope that we can get some pressure on him and be pretty good this week.
Michael, this was your sixth game, and it'll be essentially the fourth of those games, two-thirds of them that you played against a team that runs some variation of this kind of offense. Should you guys be getting pretty good at defending it now?
Oh, yes, definitely. Like I said, we have a lot of film on ourselves to fix the mistakes that we may have had prior to this game. So I feel like we have the film there to help us get better. The coaches and everybody have a positive mindset. So we're looking forward to fixing up those things and getting after it this week.
Two questions, Mike. First, with Hundley being a freshman, how important is it to get to him early and to get him unsettled and to put him on his back and get him rattled?
Well, that's something that we're going to continue to work on all week. We really haven't figured out the type of things that we want to do essentially to stop the guy, but something that we're working on, and we're going to have a good plan to contain him.
How important is having discipline with the eyes, particularly for the safeties? We saw, against UCLA, just the other year, Sean Cattouse got kind of messed up by the pistol there. How important is it for you guys, for you and Avery and Josh and Logan?
It's very important. Eyes for DBs is something that we work on day in and day out. Each week, it just isn't with UCLA. It's with all the teams that we play. So our eyes are something definitely that we need to work on. I think on film we show some times that we may have undisciplined eyes, but I feel like we've gotten better with our eyes, and I think this is another week that we can show we've gotten better with our eyes.
Noel Mazzoni, their offensive coordinator, was at Arizona State last year. Does that help having some familiarity with the scheme?
It may be. You can't rely solely on that, because if you do, they may trick you with some things. So we respect him at his new system. It's pretty similar, but at the same time, he's at a different place with different type of players. So it may be different, but we're willing to adjust, and I think we're going to be ready.
Coach Tapper was in here a few minutes ago, and among other things, he described the feeling of this start you're getting off to as miserable and nothing worse than it. Does that sum up how the how the team is feeling, and along with that, is there a reason for hope?
It's tough. We're in a pretty tough position right now, without a doubt. A lot of teams wouldn't be willing to sit at 1-4 right now, but in the locker room, we still have a positive mindset. Without a doubt, we feel that we can come back with 4 losses under our belt now. We still feel that we can come back and win out the rest of the games. That's the mission week in and week out. So with the team, it's a lot of confidence. The coaches are still confident in us. They're pushing us harder so that we can understand what we have at task, so we can go out there, fulfill what we set out to do in the summertime.
Okay, any further questions for Mike? All right, you'll probably see him a lot more, but great first one, Mike.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.